Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a special podcast episode here with the April WASDE report numbers. Pretty quiet report overall. The markets reacted pretty calmly, up a couple cents, down a couple cents. We ended up a little lower in both the corn and the beans, about 4 to 5 cents in both of those markets. The Brazilian and the South American production really was pretty unchanged. They did change the corn estimates, and Argentina just slightly lowered that, but everything else stayed pretty much the same. World ending stocks were pretty similar. They did lower them all just a touch, but pretty much what the trade expected. Any of these numbers, Vince, that stand out the most to you, or what was the big takeaways from this month's report?
Well, I think just to take the South American production that you talked about first, everything was pretty much unchanged. But when you look at the expected numbers, I think part of that disappointment, you wonder why we went lower with, let's say, neutral numbers. But trade was really expecting that Brazilian corn crop to drop about 2.2 bushels an acre, and it didn't drop at all. Beans, they were looking at about 3.2, and we didn't drop it. Argentine corn, they were looking at about 800,000 metric tons. We didn't do anything. We did drop a little bit on the beans, as you noted. And I think the other side of that, we did get some reductions in world carryout on corn and beans and wheat from what it was last month. But again, corn and beans especially, both came in a bit higher than the trade was expecting, putting a little bit of a negative twist on that. I don't think it's big things, but just enough where there wasn't a lot of other news from that South American side to do a lot more for it.
And then overall in the corn and the bean markets, is there any bullish news or anything these markets can look forward to in the coming months?
I'm not sure there's any bullish stuff right now, and you got to get something usually develops in there, Connor. One of the things I thought when we just looked at the U.S. numbers, as far as trying to break them down and how they changed their carryout numbers, we did increase food and seed usage by 25 million bushels, ethanol production by 25 million. So in essence, you drop the ending stocks by about 44 million from last month. But find it a bit interesting if we take the opposite side of that on the beans. We're going to look at the fact that we actually decreased seed usage by 9 million bushels, seed and residual. And the residual is kind of a funny one, don't get me wrong, but you were looking at more bean acres and less corn acres on the report, but yes, we're showing you less seed for beans and more seed for corn. I'm not quite sure how we come back with those numbers, but that is USDA. And I think US wise, probably the biggest disappointment there was the 26 million bushel gain in carryout number to 341 million, or 8.29% used to carryout. Not a big thing in there, but not a tight number by any means when we looked at it.
So overall, another ugly picture in the grains today, but we'll see what the coming months hold. That's going to do it for this episode of the Commodity Insights podcast. If we could be of any further assistance to you, give us a call at Farmers Trading. Our number is 996-6500, or check out the website farmerstradingco.com for more information. Thank you.